I can't believe it. I thought he was gone for good. I thought it was all over. I thought I'd never have to hear that mind-numbing song again. But he's back. He has returned.
I love you.
Hey everybody, what is going on? Welcome to Regular Josh 1. Please take the time now to hit that like button in this video, and if you're new, subscribe. So this is something I never ever talked about on this channel. In fact, I had no reason to really bring it up on my channel. But it was announced about 3 months ago that Barney the dinosaur is coming back in an all-new series. I say this way too many times at this point, but this shouldn't really be a surprise to anyone. I mean, how long has Barney been around for? Well, after just researching this, and this is literally something that I never knew about until now, technically the origin of Barney, or at least Barney and Friends, was from a series called Barney and the Backyard Gang. And if you thought Barney was creepy looking before, which he still is, boy oh boy, the first version of Barney? Be prepared to see him in your nightmares for the next few days. Barney has been with us since 1988 in Barney and the Backyard Gang. It was actually a direct-to-video series, and it lasted until 1991 with 8 videos in the series. This would then lead to 1 year later in 1992 with Barney's first TV show, Barney and Friends. And if I even need to explain more what happened, the show was a massive success with kids, spawning a few movies and specials, live tours, and even having a show at Universal Orlando, which surprisingly ran for 25 years. Now, if you grew up in part of the 90s like I did, or even part of the 2000s, you most likely knew of Barney as a very young kid. Hey, I mean, look, PBS Kids at the time was my channel when I was a very, very young child. I mean, it had Barney, had Clifford, Bob the Builder, Dragon Tales. Oh, if you were, like most people around that time, when you grew older, you most likely started to hate this dinosaur. He was like the Dora the Explorer of PBS Kids at the time. You loved the show as a kid, and then you hated it. And funnily enough, both of these shows are coming back with their own CGI reboots. Admittedly though, I didn't really dislike Barney as much as everyone else did, and I do think the hate for Barney was certainly way too much at times. I mean, there was even a documentary recently about how much people hated Barney. Like Christ, were people seriously losing their shit over a purple dinosaur? I mean, I thought my first video on Dora was harsh, God, but not compared to some of these stories I heard in that documentary. But regardless, everybody knows Barney, and it's no surprise that it's getting a reboot. I've been saying this for quite some time on this channel, but nostalgia sells. Thankfully, they are making him CG animated this time. I mean, he already looks less creepy, so that's already a plus for me. The series is set to premiere next year in 2024. Mattel is wanting to bring back the love of Barney to a new generation of kids, and even some nostalgic merch for people who grew up with it. Obviously, they're planning on this being a big release. Well, with that all being said, we recently just received even more information about the series. We have a look at the new logo, including what the title of the show is going to be, Barney's World. Barney is getting a new home in 2024, and that new home is Cartoon Network's Cartoonito. Wow, and I mean wow, I did not see this coming. Here I was slightly worried about the future of Cartoonito. I mean, ever since it premiered, it's been losing hours on the channel, which isn't exactly inherently a sign of it doing bad or anything, but as you guys know, it's currently only running for 90 minutes right now, from 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. This, of course, leads many people to think that Cartoonito is basically done for. I mean, even I've been saying that if they're only doing their programming block for 90 minutes in the morning, then what's even the point? But it's clear that this move to acquire this new Barney show is a sign that Cartoonito is certainly not dead. Warner Brothers is still wanting to invest in this brand, which is very surprising to me considering, you know, it's Warner Brothers Discovery. Granted, this could also be part of their initiative to make the new streaming service, Max, Yes, again, just wanted to remind you, the new streaming service is called Max. More appealing to kids and family. Considering that they are bringing this new show to both Cartoonito and Max, I'm curious if we're going to get any more new announcements regarding Cartoonito soon. I think we had a couple of shows slated to premiere this year. I think one of them is Jessica's Little Big World, or Big Little World, however you call it. It's the spinoff to the Craig of the Creek show, so you know what I'm talking about. I think that one is premiering this year. And the only other show that was possibly going to premiere in 2024 was Scooby-Doo Mystery Pups. Now that show is currently in limbo right now, especially considering that it was not going to be moving forward with HBO Max anymore. So we're not really sure if that show is going to continue or if it's fully going to be canceled. The Warner Brothers Discovery upfront is coming up very soon, so it's possible that we'll see some more announcements for both Cartoon Network and Cartoonito. Also, this does make me wonder if we're going to get any returns on the new streaming service. Think about it. Lots of shows were removed from HBO Max, and it really affected Cartoon Network and Cartoonito. With Cartoonito's hub currently on HBO Max, it's practically just Sesame Street right now. They were really gutted because they had so much more shows to offer on HBO Max before. If anything, this could weirdly explain why they currently only run for 90 minutes right now. Considering that many of the shows that did air on the preschool block were also on HBO Max, they did end up getting removed, so there may be a correlation there. If Max brings back many of those shows that got removed for Cartoonito, you might see them gaining more hours back on the channel at some point. Now this is only speculation, so this may not happen at all, but I do base this on the fact that Cartoonito almost constantly did promotion for the fact that they're also on HBO Max. Do you like watching these shows? Go on HBO Max to see your favorite shows and more. I'm pretty sure that with this new Max launch, it's possible we're gonna see that campaign again at some point. If anything, I think it makes sense for Warner Bros. Discovery to acquire this new Barney series. It was certainly unexpected, but I totally get it. I don't exactly know if kids today really know Barney or not, but if it was successful before, why wouldn't it be successful now? I mean, look at Blue's Clues and You. That show is in its 4th season, and it's still going strong. Hell, as I mentioned before in this video, Dora is also coming back with its own CGI reboots. Blue's Clues, Dora, and Barney were all big shows in their day, so Barney going to Cartoonito could very well bring them some good views to the preschool block. I gotta say though, it's very interesting how this is like their 4th show that was basically from PBS Kids. Thomas and Friends, Caillou, Mecha Builders technically, since that is a Sesame Street show, and now Barney. Next thing you know, you're gonna be telling me that Arthur is gonna be having a CGI reboot that will also be making its way to Cartoonito. Honestly, at this point, tell me that is not going to happen. So, what do you guys think about all this? Are you shocked about Barney returning to TV? Are you even more surprised that it's going to Cartoonito? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and hit the bell to be notified on my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, you're hearing it from a regular bunny in a regular world. See you next time.